Today, we'd like to welcome to the podcast Nora Abell. Did I say that right? Okay, good. She is the owner-founder of RevenueTribe and started the company over 6 years ago. Nora has given her life to help business owners know who they are, what matters most to them, why they do what they do, and what is actually stopping them from walking in the fullness of that place of purpose. Thank you for not giving me huge words because I can't read loud.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Thank you for coming,
Yeah,
Nora.
thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I love it. I love it. So the first question is always the same.
Yeah.
What was your first job?
Oh my gosh. My first job was like, are we going first job back in junior high school, or like first job after
Whatever.
college?
All of the above.
Well, I did babysitting, and I worked in a printing shop when I was in junior high and high school. But my first job was when I moved out to Colorado, and I worked at the Marriott.
Oh, what did you do at the Marriott?
So I was the assistant to the operations manager to the hotel. So hospitality industry was my first exposure, which I actually ended up doing a little bit more of later on in my career in the hospitality industry. But yeah, that was my first at the Marriott.
Huh, dealing with people.
Huh. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It was fun.
I always ask that question because it's always kind of dovetails into what people do now.
Yes.
Right?
Uh-huh.
You know this because you ask those questions,
I
right?
do.
So why did you move to Colorado? How did you get here?
So
you're from Iowa, right?
Yeah, I'm originally from Iowa, and I went to about a year and a half of junior college. And it just was like, I just didn't feel like college was for me. I had no understanding of why. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I wanted to study. And it just felt like a waste. And so my sister lived in Colorado with her husband. And I just decided to move. And a couple girlfriends of mine from Iowa moved with me. We got an apartment. And I actually just been in Colorado ever since.
I love that. I love those suitcase and a prayer.
Yeah, that's all it was. We just got all of us in a little teeny car and off we went to Colorado, not knowing anything of what we were going to do. But yeah, life has led me.
That is really cool. And you've been here ever since?
Yep.
Never leaving?
No.
All right. So you've been working with business owners for a long time.
Yes. Like first 15 years of my career was just kind of working with them in the advertising and marketing aspect of things. So worked for Yellow Pages and radio, and really that was the first 15 years of really understanding how business owners, represented themselves and how to help them bring out the best in themselves in advertising and marketing. And then I went into creating business groups in the hospitality industry and also commercial real estate brokerage industry.
Oh, wow.
And then that was probably about a 10-year stint where just helping business owners understand, who they are, who the person is that actually works with their specific client, and how you do more business together than you can apart. So it's always kind of been around that. It's always been a kind of like, who are you? What makes you valuable? What makes you unique? And then how do we represent that to represent in your marketing and creating your strategic partners? So that was the bulk of my career, and how I ended up doing what I'm doing now.
I love it.
Yeah.
So you did business development for Crankset Group, which
I did.
We talk about all the time here because
Good.
a lot of our
Yay,
people.
Crankset.
Yes, we love it.
Yeah.
So what was that experience like, helping bring people into 3 to 5 and?
Right. Well, when I started working with Chuck Blackmon and 3 to 5 Club, he actually didn't have 3 to 5 Club at that time, but he had this incredible principle about how to create business, from a place of your why. And I had owned 2 of my own businesses at that point and had never really heard that concept before. And so he was the first one that opened my eyes that you could actually do business from a place of your why, from a place of what mattered most to you. And so it was really great helping him create the communities of 3 to 5 to bring these business owners together to really do that together, really understand what was important to them, and then how to create businesses together from a place of community. So yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's always good. It's
Yeah.
just my 3 to 5 people are my people.
Yes, they are.
So what prompted you to start RevenueTribe?
So I think the biggest part of it was that I just kept seeing these business owners, hundreds of them that we had brought into 3 to 5. I just kept seeing them bump into either not like really being completely connected to their why, or like not accomplishing what, you know, what was most important to them, never really seeing them get there, like accomplishing their strategic plan and their goals. And I just, after a while, you know, I'm one of those that if I don't understand it, I can't sell it. If I don't see the end result is going to get them. And I just was like, what's within me that I need to explore a little deeper. And that I felt like God was asking me to like really step into and understand what I was created to help people solve. So I just kind of stepped away from 3 to 5 and took 3 months with a friend of mine. And we just really sought God to go like, what's going on? Why aren't these people accomplishing what they really want in their life? What's stopping them from accomplishing that? Why aren't they connected completely to their vision and their purpose? And that's really where this work was birthed, was that place of just asking for the keys and understanding like, oh my gosh, that's what it was. So that's kind of what that's why I started my own business.
So I started RevenueTribe. And so you help people find their unique contribution.
Yep.
And their values around that.
Yes. In a nutshell. Yes.
Yeah. And so, but how do you do that? It's kind of woo sounding. And having been through said workshop. Yeah. How do you boil that down for people? You know, how do you get there?
So it's a good question. I would say the fundamental part of the first part of the workshop, it's kind of broken down into 2 segments, but the first fundamental part of the workshop is really understanding that we have 2 core belief systems that run our life on any given day. And if you can imagine the root systems of a tree, instead of having one root system, you have 2 root systems. If one root system is what creates the good fruit in our life and the other creates the bad fruit in our life, then it would be important to know that if we wanted more good fruit, that it's not necessarily going to be figuring out how to hire or how to have the right counting numbers or how to, you know, do the correct strategic plan. If you really understand at the core of what creates the good fruit, then probably you should be doing more of that. And so the same applies to the bad fruit in your life. A lot of times we'll sit there and talk about all the stuff that happens in business and that we don't understand and why can't we have this? And I was one of those. I was like, you know, at one point in time I had 9 employees and it was just like, I cannot do this. I can't manage. I'm not a great, you know, and it was just a matter of understanding that my limiting belief really had stood in my way, the bad root, which I call limiting belief, of stopping me from having what I really wanted most in my business. And so I kind of knew what my why was a little bit when I first started this. I kind of knew that it was all around family. I'm from a family of 8 brothers and sisters, and we are really, really close. And I love my family. I love my daughter. I love my grandkids and my son-in-law. And I love family. So business has always been that to me. It's always been community. It's always been family. But I never knew what stopped me from actually producing that to the extent I knew it could in business and in my own life. And so this work helps you identify both. It helps you identify what matters most to you. Chuck calls it why. I call it purpose. I call it your foundational belief, your vision, what matters most to you. And then what's the limiting belief that is the opposing belief that's going to stop you from getting that? Because both of them are part of your purpose. So that first part is really understanding what are your 2 core beliefs that are birthed from a place of blessing and a place of pain. So when you know both those places both really help identify your place of purpose. And what matters most to you. So then at that point, we just kind of start creating processes around doing more of what matters most to you and really pinching off and doing less of that limiting belief. Which, by the way, audience, I'm not sure if you know this, but my limiting belief is that I'm not worth being seen or heard. So I'm just telling you right now that I'm here because I trust this girl and because I'm pushing past that limiting belief that I'm actually able to be seen and heard. And in that, I get to be part of family and community.
Yeah, and you were saying I've gotten past the heard part more than the seen part.
Yeah.
So we're working on your seen part.
Yeah. So I can be heard. I've done a lot of podcasts, but the seen and heard, that's a big one. So anyway,
I think it's a big one for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I love it.
So so that's the first part, is really understanding your place of vision. Vision is where you're going, what matters most to you, and how you're gonna get there. You got to know what matters most to you. And once you get that, then it starts informing your business like no other. It's the fuel. It's the passion. It's why you get up in the morning. And it tells you the center of how to build a strategic plan. It tells you how to hire. It tells you how to create culture. It informs so many aspects of business. And so for me, it's like when I found that for myself, it was like, oh my gosh, oh my God, that's why I created all these communities. That's why I did that. But conversely, I also found out that within building these communities, I didn't think I was worth having it myself. So once I really saw that this work, it's really transformed so many people because they get both languages. So part of that is that. And then the other part is the understanding that once you understand what matters most to you, then how are you going to walk that out in the world? How are you going to create? And what's the tactical aspects of what you carry that helps you actually apply that and create that and manifest that in your life around you. So those are the two aspects of the workshop in general.
I love it.
That's a lot of information, but
it was. Yeah. You thoroughly answered my next question too.
Oh, wait, I did?
Yeah, that's fine.
What was it?
I said, how do you help people understand what they are getting from what your workshops and what they're tangibly going to walk away with?
Got it.
That was my next question.
Okay.
So you completely answered that.
All right. Awesome.
That's cool.
See,
we're just on the level. We're good. So can you actually tell us like a story or two about like how people have, like a client or two that has been able to achieve what they've been able to achieve after working with you?
What does achieve mean? What the result is, or
what their result has been from doing your workshops, walking this out, living this out. How has that changed their lives and their businesses?
I'll answer on a couple levels from a couple people, then I'll ask you.
Okay.
Since you already did the workshop.
Yeah, I did do the workshop. We're doing the work on the workshop. So.
Right. I think the biggest, one of the things that matters most to me is because my vision is like we really value each other, and so we can do more together than apart. And then my mission is really about helping people see the truth of their unique values, so you can create a culture of honor and have a greater impact in creating unified and purposeful community, family, tribe. So one of my favorite things is when I do couples. And they come in messy. When I get them, they're like on the verge of the divorce. There's a few that are so proactive in really knowing that they can create this amazing relationship. So they'll come in just to like really understand how. But most of the clients I get are literally on the verge of divorce. And so what is the best, probably the best thing that I see is that they just get this deep understanding of what they value the most, what matters to them in life the most. And then this really incredible place of pain that has really been with them that keeps them from having that. So when they can understand what they value the most, they begin to value themselves. And they begin to like go, oh my God, that's actually possible. And that's actually what I want. But the thing that I love the most is when the other spouse gets it. When the other spouse sits there, some of you cry.
I knew there was going to be crying in this one.
It's just within 2 or 3 sessions, it's just amazing how easy it is to get so beaten down in this world. It's can be such a hard, challenging world. And then you put on top of it having to learn how to do relationships and be vulnerable and intimate with this partner who's supposed to be your life partner. It just touched my heart when they actually get to see who each other is and what matters most to them, and then begin to honor and value that, because most of the time I just forgot.
Yeah.
That's the most amazing thing. It's like I can tell them, hey, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go back and remember why you married this person. Well, they couldn't do that for nothing when they first come in. But by the time we're honestly, it's about a 5-6 session workshop. But by the time we're at the 3rd session, they're like madly in love again. And oh my God, I get it. I didn't know why you did that. I didn't know why you showed up like that. I didn't know that mattered to you. And so that's probably my greatest. That's what I love doing the most. And teams, managements. I go into like teams, and it is amazing how owners don't understand that what matters most to them and the culture they're creating. It just amazes me how they don't get that shifts and changes everything about who they hire. And so it can shift quickly to go, I had no idea that that's why these people work for me. I had no idea that that's what mattered most to them. So I love doing the teams, the management teams and owners, and see how I can like overnight shift a a company and the way they do business and why they do business the way they do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll ask you.
I love it. All your answers are around team and tribe.
Well, that's because that's what I carry. Just in case you want to know.
I think for me, I mean, I came into your workshop going, missing something. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so super close. Like, I think I'm close.
Yeah.
And I've done the way I work with different people and in different ways, but I'm just missing something.
Mm.
And for me, it was helping people with the goals stuff.
Yeah.
And you and I sat down a couple of weeks ago and we went down through your goal stuff. And you're like, you're just lit up. And I am lit up.
Yeah.
So how we're kind of changing things in our business to be more goal oriented.
Yeah.
Because it's been built in and it's been something that I've been wanting to do with my clients.
Mm-hmm.
But really, building that in as the main focus has not been what I've been doing.
Yeah.
But that's what lights me up.
So can I ask you a vulnerable question? I don't know. Could we get vulnerable in here?
I knew Nora was going to start interviewing me. Okay,
we're going to
Nora's
get real up in here.
now.
So what was your greatest place of pain that because I see how clearly that's what you do for business owners, that literally I have not found a CPA that has done that yet.
Yeah.
That really wants to understand what's the goals, what do you want in life, how do we get there with the numbers? How do we get there? What was your greatest place of pain that really has made you want that for other people and yourself the most?
I think my greatest place of pain. See, I knew you were going to start interviewing me. I was like doing your questions. I'm like, Nora's going to start interviewing me and there's going to be crying. My greatest place of pain really comes from my parents' divorce. So that was my greatest place of pain, and just not understanding where we're going. And, like blowing up, the trajectory of a family.
Yeah.
So I think that was it. Like there was no, like it was okay. Well, now we've got separate goals and separate families and separate.
So why was that your greatest place of pain?
I think just because it felt like there was no control or, I think our capability to have control over what was happening.
A hope for tomorrow.
A hope for tomorrow.
What you really, really wanted in life kind of disappeared before your eyes.
Yeah. Well, I think it just was kind of dissipated into two different families with two different culture sets. And like, it was just for me as a reformer, as an Enneagram 1, that was really hard.
Yeah.
So, and I think I was actually just reading that, we're just going to completely go off topic here, that your Enneagram comes from whatever your trauma is.
Absolutely. I mean, I can almost type somebody, like we do the high-low of like, what was the high point in your life that had the greatest impact? What was your high point that had the greatest impact?
I don't remember what my high point was. I'll have to go back and look.
Well, just tell me now.
Those are the hard ones for me. The high point one.
So if you look at like my high point was being able to do these mission trips with my daughter when she was in junior high and high school. And if you look at the why, it was because I got to like put these creative, innovative trips together with the people I love the most and make a significant difference in their life.
Yeah.
Well, my low was when I was 9 years old and one of second last of 8 children. And my mom and dad decided to bring a foster brother in. And I had a hard time being seen or heard with being the second of the last 8 children. And he comes in and I literally disappeared. So our high-low really frames what matters most to us. And then the passion we have to do it for other people. And so like to be able to see and hear people at the level I do, I've been told for years that they can't believe how well I can remember them or see them at the level that I do. But I would say the same for you is like, you have this passion to go, I know what it feels like to be out of control, to not know. And you apply to numbers right now, but it's life in general for you. Like you're still living from that place of pain and blessing.
Right.
And so that's what I love about you and why I hired her, by the way, for my CPA immediately, was because you really care about what's important to you. Where are you going?
Yeah, where are you going? Why are you going?
Why are you going?
Yeah, what does this look
like
for you?
And the minute I got a little out of control with, I so don't know my numbers, you weren't moved by that at all. You're like, we're going to get these numbers in control so you can actually live the life you want.
Yeah, we'll just add in, like, all we have to do is take, and I just did this the other day with one of my clients, all we have to do is take what you want and put some numbers on it. And then extrapolate how we're going to get to there. Yeah. Like, it's pretty straightforward.
I don't know about you guys, but I don't know any CPAs like that. Like, they sit down with me and I fall asleep within the first 5 minutes. So when she goes, hey, Nora, let's work backwards and let's start from your why and where are you going and what's your vision? And let's work the numbers backwards. And I'm like, well, I've never heard that before, but I'm in.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So that you see the power of
And
really
it's so
framing your
fun.
business around
And
that.
It's so fun.
And that's my favorite part is just going like, once people understand why it matters to them, like you're the one that can look at me and go, I know what it feels like to be out of control and not know what the future holds. I believe you.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
You have the experience.
Totally.
I'm going like,
we all feel that.
Yeah.
I think.
So yeah, thank you for doing what you do.
You're totally welcome. Okay, now we're going to continue to interview you.
All about me. I'm good. See how comfortable I am about letting it be about me now.
Okay.
God, I'm good.
So what are the easiest ways for people to get plugged in to sorry. So what is the easiest way for a person or organization to get started on this work?
Good question. We have a couple different ways that we've created to really give entry points, and it's a little bit like a funnel. So we have coffee and combos once a month, and that's just where people that live life on purpose and want to be in purposeful community come and have coffee the first Thursday of every month. So we do that downtown.
In Denver.
Okay. Just Be Kitchen. And so we do that. And then once a month we do Power of Your Purpose. It's open to anybody and everybody. And it's a 90-minute facilitated kind of thing. We just did. We understand an overview of your general purpose, how that applies to your business. And then we really talk from that place of what are your clients buying from you or your employee paying you for that you don't even know you're selling. Like, what is that place that from that overall purpose that creates the revenue? And then lastly, what's stopping you? Like that's in that too. So we do 90 minutes of how do you increase revenue, what's your purpose, and what's going to stop you from walking in the fullness of that. So we do that once a month, but we also do that. We come to your team. So we do a free 90-minute facilitated that process. If you want to bring us into your team, brokerage, whatever, and your insurance agents, and you want to bring us in and just do an overall so they get that understanding. So we also have the ability to do that. So that's one of the key places to kind of really get a good taste of this work. And then we have an 8-week workshop coming up that we used to do on the weekends, but we've decided there's so much that's crammed into a weekend.
Yes.
As you know.
That was the roughest weekend of my life. I like literally cried for 2 days. I was like, I'm out. She was good though.
She was so good.
It was so good.
It's so good. And so we kind of took it out for an 8-week thing because we've just really gone, we want to build community within it. And these people get so close within 2 days that we're like, let's give them some time to like breathe this work in, and let's give them some time to like create these really authentic communities that a lot of my communities in the hospitality and commercial real estate industry are still going 20 years later.
That's crazy.
And so we did that 8-week the workshop starting in March.
Okay.
So we have that available as well. So those are the 3 kind of places that people can plug in.
So, but only in Denver. So what's next?
Only in Denver, yeah. So we have online options too. So we do a lot of our private coaching. I do private coaching. I've got several facilitators that also do private coaching. Oh, good. Yeah, so we do Zoom. We do Zoom all the time. Yeah, that the coaching is really easy to do online. And we'll be launching online again here. We've done a lot online workshops in community. We don't have one of those scheduled right now, but we do those as well. Awesome. But yeah, so private sessions are another option.
Awesome. So before I ask my last question, what is the easiest way for people to find you?
RevenueTribe.com is our website, and or you can ask Jamie.
Yeah, or I'll just send me an email, I'll hook you in. But I'll put all the links down in the description box.
Yeah, or just reach out to me. I can I offer a 20-minute free consultation. Okay. Just to see where are you, what, just kind of over the phone, just where are you, what do you need right now, and how can we best serve you? Okay. So we do those as well. Okay. If somebody
send people a link to schedule.
Great. She's going to send you a link.
Yeah, we'll put it in the.
Yeah, it's really easy in 20 minutes to understand what's stopping most people and what they want and how to get there.
That's amazing work. Like 20 minutes, you're like, let's just suss it out. You need to teach me how to do that.
I'm pretty good at that.
You need to teach me how to do that.
Yeah.
So final question. What if I can see it? I can't see it. Hold on. What is the one thing people and business owners need to understand, in your opinion, to move themselves forward? Like, what is that one little key piece that most people are missing?
I think without question is like what matters most to them and what's stopping them from accomplishing that. Like really the millennial generation today does not want to work for somebody that doesn't know why they do what they do.
That's so true.
They just don't. And we shouldn't either.
Neither does most of us.
No. So we go about life and not understanding why we do what we do, what matters to us, why it matters to us. We can't even hear our own voice. And so I would say as a business owner, had I had that understanding of the greatest place of blessing and the greatest place of pain, and how both of those inform my greatest place of contribution to the world around me, would be the place that I would find the greatest joy, and the greatest abundance, the place of abundance and increase in revenue. It would have changed everything. Thank God I found it 7 years ago. I still have an opportunity.
You've got plenty of time.
But I wouldn't have the brilliant facilitators that are working with me today that we share life together, not just work.
And they're awesome.
They're amazing. I wouldn't have the tribe that follows us and comes to coffee and combos and that supports us and promotes us. And I wouldn't have a daughter who is brilliant at this work. She has her own company and she helps people, millennials, be on purpose. And she's committed and challenging this age group to really step into that. So it's what matters most to you is you're valued and you have a gift.
It's creating meaning.
Yeah.
Around all of us.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
I
really enjoyed it.
Yay!
You're really good at this. A CPA is doing an entertaining video. I'm thrilled.
I love you.
Thanks, Jamie.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Hey y'all, thanks for listening. If you found this podcast to be inspiring, helpful, and entertaining, please like and subscribe. This helps us grow the community and reach more people. If you are interested in learning more about this episode's guest or accessing any of the books or other resources mentioned in this episode, be sure to check out the description box below. Until next time, be abundant.